Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. Once again, taking a look at the Steam Winter Sale. Now, games under $10. Much like I said about games under $5, once you get to this price threshold, it really opens up the floodgates where there's like 8 billion games at this price point. So, you know, I can cover the stuff that I know about, but there's 8 billion games, including games on my wish list, games that I don't even know about that are on sale that are probably very much worth your money. We're going to be mentioning games that a lot of you guys already own. I can't do anything about that. What I am going to try to do over the hopefully course of the next year is expand my gaming repertoire a little bit as far as games that I've played, but you know, it's a balancing act. I gotta play games that are coming out, and then I gotta play games that 8 billion people haven't heard about. So, yeah, like I'm trying to broaden my horizons a little bit. It's a work in progress, and I feel like I've been saying that for years, but nonetheless, let's get right into it, and let's start things off with Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown, which is 84% off for $9.59. This is an awesome over-the-top action flight title. I'm not big into Ace Combat story. It's there, it's fine, whatever. If you want to get into that, more power to you, but from an action gameplay standpoint, Ace Combat is absolutely awesome. It is so over the top, it is so chaotic, hectic, and it's a ton of fun, and I feel like from a fun aspect as far as the gameplay is concerned, Ace Combat just nails it, and also Ace Combat 7's got one of the most underrated soundtracks I feel like in all of gaming. The soundtrack in this game, just look up some of the tracks in it, is awesome, and for $9.59 I think it's a great buy. I know a lot of people are flocking towards the Top Gun Maverick Edition. That is $15, so if you do want to pick that up, that's an option. The Ultimate Edition is $20, but the base game for $9.59 is great, and I would strongly recommend it. Next up, I just feel like I gotta mention this. Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition, 80% off for $9.99. Look, everybody owns this game, I'd imagine. If you don't, what are you doing? Witcher 3 is fantastic. I know that the upgrade just came out, and, you know, ray tracing enabled, gonna bring your PC to its knees, and there's some issues as far as technical performance goes with the upgrade, but Witcher 3 is an awesome game, man, and unlike what's going on the PlayStation Store, and I believe on Xbox as well, they've upped the price of the game after the upgrade has come out. On PC, thankfully, it's still $9.99. They knew they couldn't get away with that on Steam and on GOG and whatnot, but yeah, $10 for Witcher 3 is highway robbery. You get the expansions with the Complete Edition as well. It's just a fantastic game. Narratively, gameplay-wise, I know some people crap on the Witcher 3's gameplay. I think the gameplay has some depth to it, and I think it's overall pretty fun. They've added some interface options, some UI improvements with if you're playing the game with a controller, so that's an option as well. And obviously, they added Ultra Plus as a setting as well. Remember, you get the base game, you get Hearts of Stone, and you get Blood and Wine. You can get the base game for $8. I wouldn't do that. Get the additional content for $10. That's just a bargain of a deal, and I would strongly recommend that. Next up, Resident Evil 2, that is down to $9.99. Resident Evil 2 is one of the best video game remakes that you're gonna find, and I wasn't even, I didn't grow up in the Resident Evil 2 era. It's a game that I went back and played, like, years after the fact, but it's not a game I'm super nostalgic with. Resident Evil 2, though, is a fantastic game, an atmospheric survival horror title. I would strongly recommend it. It's not a super lengthy game, so when it initially came out for $60, and this is always going to be the case with Resident Evil, it's not like you're getting a 30-hour experience with Resident Evil. Is it a replayable game? Yeah, people will go back and play through it multiple times, but in terms of content-wise, you're not getting an expansive experience in terms of sheer amount of content, but quality level is super high, and, you know, if they can maintain this quality level with the Resident Evil 4 remake, that is a game I played growing up, and, yeah, like, that game I'm just so excited for. But for now, RE2, the remake for $9.99 is a great pickup. Also, staying on the Resident Evil train, also wanted to give a mention to Resident Evil 7, that's $7.99. I mean, this is a game that really brought Resident Evil back to the forefront when Resident Evil, I feel like, was losing a lot of luster. Yes, people enjoyed Revelations, Revelations 2, those games were okay. Resident Evil 6, some people for some reason liked it. I know, maybe I crap on that game too much. It's not a terrible game, but it's not Resident Evil. Resident Evil 7, though, really has that horror atmosphere to it, and it's a very engrossing game, and narratively, it's excellent. Play this, ultimately check out Resident Evil Village at some point as well, but yeah, for $7.99, that's a great pickup. Next up, wanted to give a mention to a lower key title that I played earlier this year. Is it the best among the games I'm about to mention in this list? No, but Trek to Yomi is 50% off for $9.99. This is very much a throwback, like, samurai movie in the form of a video game. It's got some supernatural elements that are introduced as as well. The issue with this game is it came out at $20 and it is just incredibly short. You could beat this game in one sitting easily. And, you know, $20 for that, it's a little bit of a hard sell. However, from a presentation and aesthetic standpoint, this game is just tremendous if you know what you're getting yourself into. And that's why people were excited for this game in the first place, just from a presentation standpoint. They absolutely nail that element. $9.99, I think, is a pretty good price for it. Just do know it's a little bit of a shorter game, very much a shorter game. So, yeah, it is bloody as well. But, yeah, $9.99, I think, is a good price. $4.99, I think, would be ideal. But $9.99 definitely ain't bad either. And I would say give that a look. That's a pretty good price, all things considered. Next up, Disco Elysium, the final cut, 75% off for $9.99. This is just a disgustingly good deal. Disco Elysium is, however, a game that is kind of a title that a lot of people are not going to dig. Specifically, maybe I just say that whenever I talk about Disco Elysium because I recommended this game to a friend that I thought would have liked this game, and I recommended this game to a bunch of friends, mind you, but one just adamantly hated this game and said I should have been smacked for recommending this game to him. But nonetheless, he's like, I should have not recommended this game because I knew this I should have known this wouldn't have been up his wheelhouse. This is very much a narrative-driven, slower-paced, methodical game. A lot of decision-making, a lot of dialogue, more of a mature story, tackles some mature thematics, and again, you gotta know what you're getting yourself into. If you're a fan of narrative-driven games, if you're a fan of slower-paced games, Disco Elysium is an incredibly satisfying game to go through, and I think most people will end up enjoying it, like I said. Is Steam Deck verified, and I feel like this is one of those games that you want to put some headphones on, you know, you want to get engrossed into the experience. I feel like it could be pretty good on the deck. I personally have not played it on the deck, so I can't vouch for it, but just thinking about it, I feel like it would be pretty good. $9.99 for the final cut. Great pickup here. Definitely go give that a look. Next up, we have A Plague Tale Innocence, 75% off for $9.99. So obviously, A Plague Tale Requiem came out earlier this year. That game is still going for a premier price point, and if you haven't played Innocence, there is no reason for you to pick up Requiem. Absolutely none, because Requiem is a direct sequel to Innocence. Plague Tale Innocence is a great game. This is a dark game, and it's very much narrative-driven, obviously with more gameplay elements, but, it's a game that, while it's narrative-driven, it does a really good job of hooking you within the first 15 to 30 minutes. That's sometimes the issue with a lot of narrative-based games, where they are slow to a point where some people will just drop them if it doesn't pick up right away. I feel like A Plague Tale did a really good job of creating that ambiance and that atmosphere, and also having stuff go down very early on that made you be like, okay, I gotta keep playing this game. $9.99 I think is a good buy, and there are some elements towards the end of the game that are just like not that great from a gameplay standpoint, but I think for $10 is a good buy, and I definitely would give it a shot. Next up, Hyper Light Drifter, 50% off for $9.99. By the way, this game is getting a sequel. Heart Machine has did this game, and Heart Machine also did Solar Ash more recently. By the way, the sequel isn't called Hyper Light Drifter 2, it's Hyper Light Breaker that's coming out probably sometime next year. Nonetheless, this is very much a throwback title. Like, if you're a fan of Super Nintendo titles, Super Nintendo Zelda games, Hyper Light Drifter is gonna be a love letter to you. The visual style, right up my alley. I know that a lot of people think the pixel graphic style has been done to death at this point, but this came out back in 2016 where it really hadn't been done to death at that point, and even to this point, I still dig the vibe. Like, Chain Echoes just came out. I love that game's look, but Hyper Light Drifter in its own right has a great gameplay style, very much a throwback, solid music in the game as well. $9.99 is a little pricey given that this game is 6.5 years old, but you know, if you are a fan of this style of game, you're definitely going to get your money's worth out of this one. Next up, and I want to mention a couple JRPGs here, Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition is 80% off for $9.99. Now, if you look at this game, there is a mixed reception of recent reviews to this game. From what I'm reading on the Steam reviews, on the Steam Deck, there's some issues with save files getting corrupted. I don't know much about that. I played this game on my regular PC. It is a game that I was planning on going back and playing again on my deck, but yeah, we'll see about that now. If you're playing this game on your PC, though, I had a fantastic time with it, and Tales of Vesperia is such a good game. Narratively, I wouldn't say it's the best JRPG, but what I will say is the cast of characters in this game are so likable. Main character in Yuri, one of the best JRPG main characters. Then you got like the main heroine, Estelle, kind of this closeted princess girl that joins Yuri in their adventure. Their dynamic is great, and then the rest of the cast is really good. From a character standpoint, it's just a really solid cast that you're accompanying in this journey. And gameplay-wise, it shows its age. This game originally came out in 2008, but I think from a character standpoint, the story is pretty good, and there's so much content in this game if you want to do everything, so Vesperia, $9.99. I think it's a good buy, so check it out. Next up, we got Valkyria Chronicles 4 Complete Edition, 80% off for $9.99. This is the Complete Edition, so you get the DLC, and the DLC is pretty notable. At least some of it is. Valkyria Chronicles is an awesome game, an awesome JRPG franchise that I will always recommend. The thing about this is it's also a great gateway JRPG. Like, the tactics-based gameplay style isn't really similar to a lot of other JRPGs in the market, and narratively, it's like a war story. It has some JRPG tropes for sure, but not too many of them, and the story's pretty good. Cast of characters in VC4 is likable. I know some people liked VC1 better. I definitely prefer VC4 over 1, and, yeah, a roller coaster of a story as well. $9.99, and you get a sizable amount of content, especially with the Complete Edition, as I mentioned, with all the bonus stuff as well. Next up, we have the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Special Edition. Bro, it's Skyrim. Like, if you don't own Skyrim, go buy it. Like, you'll spend a lot of time with it. You'll mod the hell out of it. You'll get your money's worth out of Skyrim. I mean, the Anniversary Edition is $19.99, so you can check that out, but the Special Edition for $9.99 is a pretty good buy, and I think you can even buy an upgrade to you can buy an upgrade to the Anniversary Edition if you buy the Special Edition, so that's not a big deal either. Alright, couple more games. Assassin's Creed Syndicate, gotta give a mention to an Assassin's Creed game. 75% off for $7.49. Assassin's Creed Syndicate is a game that I feel like I am, like, indebted to for the rest of my life, like, recommend this game, because unfortunately, this was the final game in the old school style of Assassin's Creed. This game underperformed commercially. I wouldn't say that was an indictment on the quality level of Syndicate. Rather, I do think people were burned out of the yearly Assassin's Creed releases, and Unity left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth. Syndicate, I thought, was a really solid game, and it's really unfortunate that I don't know if Ubisoft was going to go in the direction of Origins and Odyssey regardless of Syndicate's performance, but I think Syndicate's commercial performance definitely put the stamp of approval on them going that direction. Nonetheless, Syndicate's a good game with a solid story, good gameplay, a massive world in this game as well. Like, Syndicate's got one of the bigger open worlds. Overall, really did enjoy my time with Syndicate, and it's a game that I've been meaning to go back and do another playthrough of. The PlayStation version is completely botched if you play it on PlayStation 5, but gotta re-download it on PC at some point. Again, there's so many games in my backlog that replaying a lengthy game like this is probably gonna take a backseat for a while, but definitely at some point I do plan on doing that. Lastly, Doom Eternal, the Standard Edition, 75% off for $9.99. I mean, it's Doom Eternal. I mentioned Doom 2016 before. Over-the-top first-person shooter. I like Doom Eternal better than 2016, I think. I would say Eternal's the better game. Some people prefer 2016. Nonetheless, they're both really fast-paced first-person shooters. I'm looking at the Steam page right now. It has great soundtrack as one of the tags, and I'm just like, yeah, it does have a really good soundtrack, but I do know there's quite a bit of drama attached to the soundtrack as well. Obviously, put that aside, and if you feel comfortable in supporting Doom Eternal, with that being said, you're gonna get a really solid first-person shooter, at least from a single-player standpoint, so take that for what you will. There is some DLC for the game, and they have a deluxe edition for $17.49 if you do want to check that out. And that is going to do it for me. We covered a lot of games here. Links to everything is always in the description box below. Lengthy video here, but wanted to get this out. I don't know how many more videos of this winter sale I'm going to do. It's a lot of retreads of me recommending the same games. Like, the Epic Game Store ain't only retreading freebies. I'm retreading game recommendation. But that's why I threw in stuff like Trek to Yomi, because I wanted to mention something a little bit different. So yeah, there you go with that. But that's going to do it for me. Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.